Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jocelyn and this is my May wrap-up. Now, as you may have read in the title of this video, it was a very disappointing reading month for myself. I don't know if that's attributed to all of the things that were going on in my personal life this month. We had a lot of unexpected traveling, all the homework I've had, the tests and exams and papers and all that, or if it was just the books themselves. It was just not a good mix of books this month, I guess. I don't know. It could be both. And to top off my disappointing reading month, I also already made this video, but there were like major uploading errors on YouTube. So I'm redoing this video talking about the books I don't like again. And yeah, so we're just gonna speed through these. And I will just say there was one book at the very end that I finished on June 1st or June 2nd, but I'm including it in this month. Originally I hadn't because I wasn't finished with it, but it was another 3 stars, so I'm gonna throw it in here because I'm not gonna remember it for next month to talk about in that wrap up. So yeah, we're gonna talk about 7 books that I read this month. I had 1 5-star, which is super surprising for me. Usually I have a couple in my wrap-ups, not this month. And out of the 7, I had 5 3 stars, which kind of teeter on 2.5, 2.75, but of course on Goodreads, you either round up or round down, so I rounded up to be nice, to be fair. As I said before, 3s are often a default rating for me as well, so if I don't really know my feelings, or if I'm very much in between, didn't hate it, didn't love it, it's gonna get a 3. So we have 5 of those this month. And then we have 1 2-star. So we'll jump right in, I'll go in that order, and we will talk about all of the books that I read. We'll start with my 5-star rating. I love, 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 love this book, and it is The Dream Daughter by Diane Chamberlain. Now this book, like I said, I gave 5 stars. I lent my personal copy to my mom. I told her she has to read it, and she's taking forever, and I want her to read it. She's reading something else. And then I also bought a copy for my grandmother because I just love it so very much. So The Dream Daughter is a historical fiction about a young widowed who finds out she's pregnant. Her husband died in the Vietnam War. They're both very young, and this is set back in the 50s, I think, yeah, 50s, 60s. I suck at history, as you may know. And so she finds out she's pregnant, and the doctors tell her that her baby is going to suffer, or is suffering from a fatal heart condition. And they don't have the medical technology to be able to deliver her baby and ensure her being healthy. So then one night, her brother-in-law comes to her in, private, and he's like, hey, what if I told you that I'm from the future and I can get you to the future so that you can have your baby, where they have furthered along their technological advances. And so we find out the story of what she chooses to do. There is time travel in this book, which is my very first time traveling book, and I want to read so many more. So definitely throw some comments in if you know of some that you enjoyed. And it's just a very, very heartfelt story about a mother willing to do anything for her baby, her child. It's so touching, and I cried, of course, because I'm so sensitive. And it was just such a beautiful story. The writing was amazing. And what was really, really cool is that I posted the picture of the book and my review on Instagram, and Diane Chamberlain herself commented on it and said, thank you for reading it, glad you enjoyed it. And I was like, no, thank you for writing it. It's such a beautiful book. So I'm definitely going to be checking out more from her, especially if she writes more historical fiction. That seems to be my jam this year. I've given every historical fiction I've read a 5-star. So definitely throw some recommendations in the comments below, or tag me in a video or something so I can find more, because I want to read more. And I will also say, in The Dream Daughter, there are some twists and turns you don't see coming, and oh my god, I just remember my heart was beating so fast reading it, and because I kind of knew what was happening, like I remembered something significant about this one portion of the book, and yeah, it gave me like a thrill. Like it was cool. It was a very, very interesting and just lovely experience reading this book, so I highly, highly recommend this one to everybody. Now let's drop down to our 3s, and this one I was going to give a 4-star. I believe I did on Goodreads, but I'm going to change it after I've had some time to think about it. And that was the first thriller I read this month, and I read it at the beginning of the month, so bear with me on the details. But it's Watch Me Disappear by Janelle Browne. I still have the Target sticker on this. I've had this on my shelf for almost 3 years, actually almost 4 years, I think. A very long time. And this is about a woman named Billy. She goes on this hike one day, and she always goes on hikes, but this one particular hike, she disappears. Nobody hears from her again. And so we're hearing from her husband, Jonathan, and her daughter, Olive, who I think is like 14 or 15. And we're kind of going through them with the grieving process, how Olive's reacting to, you know, going back to school and trying to get back to her normal, Jonathan's drinking habits. And then Jonathan gets this opportunity to write a biography about Billy. And as he's writing it, we're starting to find out things about Billy that are kind of controversial. Like, was Jonathan supposed to know that? And there's definitely some things in his marriage that were kept a secret, and so we're learning while Jonathan's learning. And then also Olive is having these like psychic visions, kind of, and it's never really brought out in the book what they were in fact, but she is having visions of her mother still being alive and speaking to her, saying like, come find me, you're not doing good enough, blah blah blah. So the whole time in the book, you're wondering what really happened to Billy. Was she murdered? Did she die? Is she still alive and hiding? Like, there's so many different ways this could have gone, and I was not very pleased with where it went. I think that because when you read too many thrillers, especially domestic thrillers, you start to come up with your own theories and your own, you know, endings of the books. And when it's not what you want it to be, you're disappointed. And I think that was the case in this. I feel like at the end, the very end, when we get our answers, it was kind of just dry. I'm still confused on my thoughts altogether. I did enjoy it, I would say. I got through it quickly because I wanted to know what happened to Billy, the truth about it. But the ending just did not satisfy how much I was enthralled in it through the first, you know, half of it. And I will say that I really did enjoy the writing, though. I like Janelle Browne, and I probably will pick up more of hers. I'm not disappointed with this one. Out of all of the 3s I'm going to talk about, this is my least disappointment. And I would, like I said, I think I gave it a 4 on Goodreads, but it's more like a 3.5. But we're gonna call it a 3 in this video. So if you're new to thrillers or new to like a mystery, it wasn't really thrilling, so I would say new to mystery, this is a good one to pick up. I think you will enjoy it. My next 3-star, I'm actually doing these in order in the way I read them too, is The Truth About Alice by Jennifer Mathieu. This is a YA fiction about a girl named Alice who is not a voice in this book, actually, not until the very end, but throughout the entire book we are hearing from 4 or 5 different students, schoolmates, classmates, that she's had some kind of relationship with, and they're all going back to this night where one of the other students, I think his name is Brandon, was in a car accident and died. And the reason that they're all talking about Alice is because she is being blamed for his death. I won't get into the details and why she's being blamed, but know that there is a lot of bullying in this book, which is quite sad. And you don't, like I said, you don't hear from Alice. You're not getting her voice until the very end. So that was kind of difficult for me because you're hearing from all these students who have their own issues. Let me tell you, like, the majority of the book is their issues and then why they are the way they are to Alice. There's a rumor about Alice that she slept with the teenager that died and then another teenager in the same day at the same party. So she's getting a lot of hate for that, and true or not, we don't really find out until towards the end. But yeah, this book was very short. It was a quick read. I, again, don't regret reading it. I try to rate YAs off of what I would want as a young adult, and so that's why I gave this a 3, not as an adult myself, but as I would a young adult, if that makes any sense. But I would say it would be good for young adults going through, you know, the typical high school drama, the bullying, the rumors, all that stuff, the gossip. So I would recommend this to a younger audience. Myself, I give it a 3. So the next one I read, this is my book of the month choice, and I've talked about it in a couple of my like most anticipated reads and TBRs and stuff. And everybody on BookTube is giving this a 5 out of 5. And it didn't get that from me, and I'm very, very sad to say that. If you watch my vlog, you already know a bunch about this, so I'll make it brief, but that is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. Guys, I wanted to love this book. I really did. But I didn't. Fortunately, it's a 3-star. So it's about this wedding taking place on an island off the coast of Ireland. And there are 5 different people, I think, that we're hearing from. There's the wedding planner, the bride. Oh, I forgot it's on the back. The +1, the best man, and the bridesmaid, who the bridesmaid is her half-sister. So that is a very cool concept. I do love hearing from different people. I felt very much like I was reading one of John Marr's books, which was fun. So it's about these people going to the island for this wedding, and someone's murdered, and we don't know who's murdered, and we don't know who did it. I know I've talked about this before too many times, it feels like. It was so built up. It took a long time. It took the whole book to build up. And it did a very, very good job. I will say that. But the ending was just too easy, I think. It just molded together way too easily. I wanted something big and shocking and fireworks and chills, and I didn't get that. And it's almost like I knew what was gonna happen the second the chapter began, that was gonna tell you what happened. I know that's not like saying it's predictable, because I wouldn't say it was predictable. It was just it was too easy, in my opinion. I think that's what it was, because the way that it rolls out is that everybody has a motive. Everybody has a story to do with the person that's gonna get murdered, and I don't want to give away too much. I did a whole spoiler vlog on this, so it's developing that the entire book, and then the ending is just like, oh. And it just fell short for me. I don't know. I was just very disappointed. Again, I don't know if it's just not a thriller month for me, or if it was just bad timing in reading this, but I could not have been more disappointed in my rating for this. I wanted this to be a 5-star so very badly. At least one more 5-star for the month, and especially this one because everybody else did. And I was surprised. I was really surprised that I didn't give it a 5-star. So it pains me to give this a 3. With all that being said, an amazing job at writing, at capturing the environment, the atmospheric description, like all of that was spot on. Absolutely beautiful. I wanted to be in Ireland. I know I've said this a couple times, but yeah, I wanted to be here. I wanted to see everything they were seeing. So with that, beautifully done. Absolutely wonderful. And I did get very, very spooked throughout the development. The character development also, while we're on that. Amazing. I loved every single one of the characters in this book. But yeah, but at the end of it, just didn't deliver, and I'm so sorry to say that, but I do recommend this for newer thriller readers, newer mystery readers. I definitely consider it more of a mystery than a thriller, so check it out if you haven't. Hopefully you like it better than I did, and yeah, we're gonna stick with a 3-star for this one. Okay, so the next one I'm gonna talk about is for Kayla's book club, Literary Dead book club. I said it right. and it's Fragments of the Lost by Miranda. Now, I briefly talked about this in my vlog, and originally I was gonna DNF this. I did not like this book one little tiny bit, and I'm not a Miranda fan. I hate to I'm not gonna say anything mean about it, but I'm not a fan of hers. I read All the Missing Girls and was so disappointed. I did not like that book one bit, and I felt like that is where this book was going. This is about a girl named Jessa who is asked to clean out her ex-boyfriend's room after he passes away in like a flood or a car accident. And she's asked by his mother, and she's cleaning out his room, and each chapter is like different things, like the lacrosse stick, and then there's the letter opener, and then there's like a guitar, and then it flips back to like Monday morning, Sunday morning, Tuesday afternoon, which I think is a Miranda thing, because that's what I hated about All the Missing Girls. So that was definitely one thing I did not like at all about this book. But yeah, so she's cleaning out this bedroom, and she's finding these objects, and then she'll go on this long scene about what it reminds her of and why. And so the mystery part of it is what really happened to Caleb, and is Jessa to blame? So that's the big mystery. I wanted to give Miranda another try. Honestly, I'm done doing that. So with that being said, the ending was very different. I didn't see it going where it was going to go. So with that, it bumped it up from a DNF to finishing it to about a 3-star. 2.75 3 stars. I didn't hate it. I don't recommend it. But it was okay, I guess. That's gonna be the review on this one. Fragments of the Lost was the one that I finished a couple days into June, so I guess we're out of order again. But the next one I'm going to talk about is Stranger in the Lake by Kimberly, Belle. This was an e-arc from NetGalley. Thank you for letting me read it. This one was also a 3-star. So this is about a newly wedded couple who is getting a lot of crap from their hometown. They live in this small little rural town. The reason they're getting so much crap is because I can't remember her name. Charlie grew up in the trailer park, always in need of money and food and stuff like that. Had an alcoholic mother, raised them, and she practically raised her baby brother. And then you have Paul, the husband, who he runs his own business or something like that, or has a family business that's been going on. He makes a lot of money, and yeah, they get engaged, or they get married. Not too long after Paul's first wife passes away. She drowns in the lake that they live on. So one day, Charlie is coming home she was going to get something out of their boat that was docked, and as she's coming back up, she sees a dead woman. Her body is floating under the dock at the same exact place where Paul's ex-wife was found. And so suspicions rise. Paul is to blame because how could this happen twice? And they find out who the woman is and how people are connected. And then we're also going back and forth between Charlie's voice and then Jack's, one of Paul's best friends as a child. And so we're hearing from those two, and we're trying to figure out why we're hearing from Jax in the first place, but also trying to figure out who this woman is and why she was murdered. So very interesting synopsis. I was all over it. I have read Dear Wife by Kimberly, Belle, and I really did enjoy that one, but this one just did not do it for me. I was very bored all the way up until about 70% of the book. I only know that because it's on my Kindle and they do the percentage. And then it started getting better. Had it not started getting better within those 10 pages, I probably would have DNF'd it. I don't like DNFing e-arcs because I feel like it's my responsibility since I signed on to read them. So I pushed through this one, and yeah, I was disappointed. The ending was pretty good, I will say that, but all the way up until that 60%, 70%, it was a 2-star. So I'm gonna end with it being a 3-star. It did redeem itself a little bit in the ending. I do think a lot of people will enjoy it. It just wasn't for me. And the last one we have is my second most, or I already said that, my first most disappointed rating to give, and that's a 2-star. And it's because everybody on YouTube or BookTube tells me to read this. Everybody on my Facebook group tells me to read this. Everybody in my book clubs tell me to read this. And I was very excited to get to it, and I didn't even think I would have time for it this month, but luckily the audiobook was available on Libby, and during my drive down to Virginia, my sister and I actually listened to it. And you're all going to be surprised to see this, but it is Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. So this is about a newly married couple again, who seem to be absolutely perfect. He dotes on her. He seems like the most amazing husband, and she seems like the most wonderful wife. And of course, it wouldn't be a thriller if there wasn't some shady shit going on behind that closed door. So that's the synopsis, and that's about the only interesting part about this book. I'm sorry, but I did not like the writing. I did not like the dialogue. I did not like the story. I did not like the sister's role in the whole thing. I was entertained enough to finish this. Also, I was stuck in a car bored, so I don't know if that says much. But the whole entire theme or reason for why this is even a thriller, I hated it. I thought it was weird. It was very disturbing, and there wasn't a lot going on in this book. There really wasn't. At the beginning, you find out right away what's going on, and then that's all it is, all the way until the very, very end, and then something else happens. And that's why I gave this a 2-star. I was shocked, probably as shocked as you are all right now, because I really expected to love this book just because everybody else did. So yeah, 2-star, and I don't even really want to talk about it that much more. I hated it. So that's all I have for you guys today for my wrap-up. As you saw, it wasn't as exciting to talk about these books as it usually is for me in wrap-ups. Usually I look forward to my wrap-ups. This one I did not, especially having to do it 2 times. Leave me some comments down below if you had similar opinions or not. Definitely check out The Dream Daughter. That's what I'll leave you here with today. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.